FIFA World Cup has never been won by a country from Africa. Regrettably, the majority of African soccer teams exhibit tremendous potential but poor World Cup performances. This is concerning because South Korea, a nation from Asia, advanced to the semifinals in 2002 tournament despite having fewer World Cup places than Africa. So, let's investigate the cause of African teams' World Cup failures. Number 1. Aging fraud. False age classifications are a problem in African soccer today. African soccer teams have won every under 17 or under 21 FIFA World Cup or Olympic competition since the 1980s. But there is a drawback to these triumphs. The issue has been that players who are over age consistently win these competitions. This mirage frequently exaggerates African talent. Due to this, players' abilities are greatly overestimated, and many African nations are guilty of this. African sides are more concerned about dominating FIFA junior tournaments than the Senior World Championship, and they recruit older athletes to pull off incredible feats at junior events but fall short at senior tournaments. If they train players at the appropriate age and timing, they will be up to the challenge. Number 2. Coach management level. The majority of African teams are managed by foreigners who add unfamiliar playing styles to the team. On other occasions, players fail to display discipline, and coaches have brief tenures. After just one World Cup, they vanish. They don't remain long enough to develop a successful strategy. It's only a job to them. Even if they don't succeed, they still get paid well and move on to the next position. Number 3. Players from other leagues perform better than home players. There is no way that African countries can develop domestic athletes of the same caliber as those from Germany, Spain, and Italy. They disregard their regional players, which is why this has become a major factor in the underperformance of African nations at the World Cup. Domestic athletes occasionally have to compete to get into the best domestic clubs before they have a chance to be selected for their nation's team and go to the World Cup. Before receiving a national team jersey, they have to do a lot. Actually, this configuration is not so good. The team loses efficacy by automatically including players who compete in international leagues. African methods of play are distinct from those in Europe and South America. Number 4. Successful individuals precede national teams. There are many African football legends who have achieved a lot, and there are many of them, footballers like Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, and George Weah, some of the most decorated Africans, have created a divide between individual and team accomplishments. This potential, however, is restricted to personal growth rather than the development of the national team. The African stars primarily compete in European leagues, therefore their abilities are well known. Compared to the World Cup teams from Europe and South America, most African teams build their attack more slowly, which makes it simpler for the opposition to coordinate their defense. And lastly, psychological barriers. Due to Africa's poor FIFA World Cup performance, players now have a dread of teams that are now dominating the tournament. In other words, one of the causes of African teams' World Cup failures is a perceived lack of confidence. They generally take a soft and submissive approach to football, whereas other nations view the sport as war. Either completely succeed or completely fail. Playing against their club football colleagues, this set of professional footballers appears unconfident. African football associations should focus on fixing their current issues with the game before aiming for the World Cup championship. African teams need to start having confidence in the local players and coaches. If not, they might also miss out on the FIFA World Cup in Qatar in 2022. Do you think this is a curse in FIFA for the African nations? And don't forget to watch this video as we discuss 5 facts that you didn't know about the FIFA World Cup. Please like and subscribe as always. We'll see you tomorrow.